wars make great settings for novels. I mean, look at the World War II novels and movies. They're still flooding out year after year after year. I wanted to do something a bit different, and my war was the Yom Kippur War in 1973. And I was keen to write a novel in a context that we don't normally hear about. I mean, there are a couple of Yom Kippur blockbusters around, set in that era, but they're usually set outside Egypt and from an American or a more Israeli sort of perspective. I was fortunate, or sort of fortunate, to actually be in Egypt in 1973 during the Yom Kippur War. So I had a sort of a ringside view of what was going on, although sometimes the view was from under our kitchen table when there were air raid sirens were going on. 40 odd years on, I thought about this war a lot, and I wondered how I could create a really fascinating context for an intelligent kind of thriller. And I've always been interested by the secret plot by the Egyptian government to conceal the date of the attack on Sinai. The Israelis, as the history books tell us, were taken by surprise, and the Egyptians crossed the Suez Canal fairly quickly, although they had setbacks later on. And you remember, this is the war that really triggered a great number of changes in the politics of the Middle East, including the Camp David Accords and so on. But back to the secret plan. What the Egyptians did, as far as some of the research and memoirs are concerned, is to lay a kind of trail of deception around the beginning of the war. So they planted false stories in the press. They evacuated hospital wards on the pretext that there had been epidemics and so on, that the wards needed to be emptied to clean them up. But in fact, the real reason was that they're expecting huge floods of casualties from the front, and they needed the hospital beds available for that. Another thing that it's said that they did was to arrange an army sports day on the actual date on the day when the war was going to begin, to put off their enemies and make them suspect that they will be playing soccer instead of gearing up to cross into Sinai. So this context gave me amazing opportunities to find storylines and story threads, and to build, what I think is a pretty exciting espionage thriller into all of this. And the great thing about espionage thrillers is, because all this stuff is top secret, you can pretty well make it up. But I will say that the book is really quite authentic in terms of the atmosphere during just before and just after the Yom Kippur War in Cairo. I was there at the time, and I found independent sources that vouch for my own memories of what it was like. So if you want, an inside view of what it was like in Cairo in 1973 during the Yom Kippur War, this is a book for you.